Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's me, Dr. Linda. Good to see you, and hope you enjoy hearing the show, listening to the show, watching the show, whatever you're going to do, whether it's on the YouTube, if it's on my Dr. Linda radio, if it's iTunes, iHeart, W4WN, wherever you are. Email me. Let me know that you like the show. I've been watching the numbers on my own station go up. That's Dr. Linda Radio, of which you can hear past shows from the 90s, 2000s, music of mine that I've written and sing. Some of the guests I've had on the show over the years, we've got their music playing. So it's this little station that's growing, and it's available to you 24 hours a day. So tune in to Dr. Linda. It's real radio psychic. I was the original radio psychic back in 1994. Started this whole craze 30 years ago, rather. It's a long time. Hi, somebody just said hi while I was talking. Today's topic, how to discover your purpose. A lot of people call, how do I know what to do, where to go? I don't know what to do. I don't know what I feel. How do I get there? How did you do it? So I'm bringing a friend of mine on. You're going to know him and you're going to love him like I do. Storm Monroe. Let's bring him on. Storm has been a YouTuber. Hey.
Hey, Dr. Linda.
How you doing, Storm?
I am doing good, but speaking of storm, it's actually like storming outside. So that's
well, you created all of that monstrous weather just because you're coming on my show. So the gods are crying to release the toxicity, to purify the air so you can find your purpose.
I love that. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. I just lit a candle because, I'm going to New York next week. So I did something for myself. I'm always lighting for other people and doing their work. I thought, I'd need one for me. So I just came back in from the shop and did a Money and Success because I'm going to be meeting a lot of VIPs at this conference. So I thought, I just want to push it up a little bit. And we'll talk about the candles in a moment, but I'm good. And it's, it's been a short week because of the holiday. So it's kind of an imbalanced time. And I think you go through that too, especially being self-employed. You kind of realign your hours, right?
You do. You have to kind of like get back on schedule. And then sometimes because we're entrepreneurs, we make our own schedule. So when it's an off day for us, it doesn't feel like an off day.
Right. So. I slept and watched old reruns of Law and Order, Chicago Fire. As you know, I've got a thing for Taylor Kenny, like 90 million other women. But he's married. He's very married.
He's very married.
Yeah.
And I went to like a barbecue / fish fry, and then we had like a tornado warning, so we all had to go back inside. And we had baseball size hail. It was a lot.
Whoa, I've never seen that. When you get a tornado warning, that can be scary. I had it one time when I lived in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, when I was a student many years ago, and it was kind of scary because we had to go into a basement. We couldn't go outside. We had to be away from the windows. Mm-hmm. And we waited until whatever was going to happen passed. We didn't have a tornado. Do you guys get tornadoes where you are?
Yes. And I mean, even me being from the Midwest, I'm used to it. So it's, even if there is a tornado, like it's not a big deal to me.
Yeah. Well, as long as they don't come and take your house away, and the way you fly off with you and your dog, like, Dorothy and Toto, end up in some Oz land, which I often visit Oz land on a weekly basis. I just get up and walk away on the yellow brick road. But let's come back to podcast land or whatever this is. And we're going to talk about how to find a purpose. But before that, I want you to introduce yourself as a podcaster. He's very famous. A lot of people that listen to my show found me because of you. Thank you very much. But you fell into this a few years ago and you found me because of Kardashians. Why don't you give a little history, and then we'll move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was researching the Kardashians and happened to saw the infomercial, the infamous infomercial at this point, and researched you and looked you up, and we've been working.
Real.
Yeah, working together / being friends ever since. We've been out to eat. We've been to not the movies but shows, and we've gotten to know each other over the last 4 years. I can't believe it's been 4 years already.
No, it's gone really fast, and we don't live in the same state. He'll come into town and visit his mom, and when he's in town, I get to see him. And the fun part, the weird part is because of some of the YouTube controversies out there, there have been a few people picking on us, using us as their theme for the day, shall I say?
It's clickbait, absolutely. It's clickbait, yes. They have nothing else to talk about, so it's okay.
No, they think we're having a thing, and I got on his show one day to say we are not having a thing. We are friends. You know, I'm old enough to be his grandmother, folks.
Yes, and it's okay. But we always have a good time, and we've discussed a lot and talked about a lot. So,
well, the thing is, just like finding a purpose, when you find a soul mate, there are 3 levels of soulmates. There's the companion, which is what we are. There's the karmic, which is most people get married, have their kids, do the PTA, go camping and all that. Then there's the twin, where a lot of times they don't have kids, or they've been divorced, or they're still searching for that one on a higher level. So there's 3 levels of soulmates. You can read it in all the different soulmate books out there. 2 of the best I ever found was the original by Jess Stern called Soulmates, and the Twin Souls by Dr. Maury Pressman, who was, I think, might still be the head of the psych department at the University of Pennsylvania. He's a doctor, and he discovered.
I'm going to ask you about that later when we get off air.
Yeah, I'm going to look him up.
I never believed in soulmates, but I know a lot of people do. So
this book, I met him back in the 90s when I started all this, long before the internet and long before the videos and all that. It was radio, and somehow I came across him, had him on the show a few times. So I'm going to remember to look him up and see if I can't bring him back on. I don't know if he's retired now, but there's a reality of your purpose, our souls, our driven passions. My life, maybe not yours, but most people I know, we start out young, obviously, and a lot of people go for the gusto. They stay playing soccer, they stay doing acting, they know they're going to be in business. They just know, and they don't.
I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know.
And a lot of people don't let life, men, women, boys, girls, upsets, death, divorces, moving, get them off their path. They stay true to that purpose, right? Some people just know. I always thought I was going to be in music, but then I took a left turn, and I ended up with a PhD. But my life went like this, as opposed to like this, and kind of getting to that one goal. I love what I do. I still miss the creative, but I've got music people around me, and when it's time, I may go back to that. What is the purpose? What is a soulmate? It's kind of like we're always digging or questioning inside ourselves, especially if you're on this path, like you're on this path.
I'm also trying to find my purpose as well. I mean, I work in social media. I do YouTube. I do a bunch of different things. I help people make money.
The Storm
yes,
Show.
Yeah,
the Storm Show. I'm promoting you. The Storm Show.
You may have seen me or heard me, but I've also been trying to find my purpose as well. And we were speaking the other day, and I was like, I'm searching for something, and that's what it is. I'm searching for my purpose. I don't know what it is quite exactly. No. I can't articulate it, but I'm searching. Yeah.
It's inside in your solar plexus, like between your head, your brain, your third eye, and your heart area. Okay. So there's like a emptiness or a hole that needs to be filled. It's not the hunger for food. It's a different quench. It's a different thirst. Sometimes it's knowledge. Sometimes it's that person. Sometimes it's for that purpose. We all have that, not all, because there's some people that just live with their black hole and get on with life. And I don't understand that, because I often fall in the black hole.
For me. That's just not. It's never been. I feel like I'm going to end up being some kind of like spiritual teacher that wears crystals and like meditates by the river or something.
You
Let me
might.
be a weirdo, you know, something
You
like
might. I just got off the phone with a gal in Oregon who's living on the river, and she had to get going to go get her boat because it was being fixed or something. And she just met some guy, which after like 20 years and 2 marriages, and he's had 2 marriages. I said, oh, this is going to be special. It's like he's bringing the kid out in her, and she's bringing the kid out in him. And they're karmically connected. They're astrologically connected. They're spiritually connected. They're past life connected. I went through the whole realms of how does this fit into her life. And she's a lot older than him. And a lot of times the soulmates will find the female being older than the male. Don't get started here, Storm. No. Let them hear this. Put this on the channel.
Yeah,
Let them hear what they
that,
say.
and they'll run with it. But even for me, I've always been attracted to older. I can't help it. It's just it is.
High 3 shifting. Yeah, no, because you've also got a more mature. Yes, but I need to talk right now. Thank you. We'll get to that. The fact that you've got a mature brain and attitude, and you're an older soul, so of course you're going to be drawn to the older people who are more in alignment with where you're at. Because I think, just like with me, a lot of guys, when I was growing up, high school or even junior high, I remember being, number one, I didn't like a lot of the guys because I was always taller until they started to sprout up. Then when we changed in junior high and high school, the guys were taller. But growing up, I was insecure because I was the big girl. But then meeting a lot of guys, yeah, that might have been attracted, and they were the cute ones. The hormones kick in when you're 13, 14, all of a sudden everybody looks good. But when you start talking to them, you realize you don't have anything in common. Then you got to figure out what's wrong. That's where I made my first mistake as a teenager, because I was into music. I was into Girl Scouts. I loved learning. And then I met this one guy who's dead now. Hope he burns. No, sorry. But he did not have a good life. I think he overdosed because he was a drug addict. But he was a PhD in pharmacology. My dad said he always did like drugs. But no, he became nasty. He became a little weird at the end. And he kept in touch with me all the years that, we broke up. He went through 2 marriages, blah, blah. But I know I can still remember standing in the yard when we both said, oh, he played guitar, and I said, I play guitar, I like music. But then he went into this whole other world, and I followed him rather than sticking to myself. And that was the beginning of me people pleasing or searching. But he was into science. I love science. And what is the true purpose? We have several. There isn't just the purpose. Yes, you will probably open up more spiritually as the conduit, teacher, healer. I don't think it'd be the healer so much as the teacher, because you're good at talking.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to.
Yeah, I don't have the patience to do healing. I'm sorry.
No, trust me, you won't, because I got stuck between the physical and psychic world yesterday for 48 hours. I was out of my mind because there was some entity that I yelled at everybody. It's painful, and when I get in those, or the people get in that vortex, it's hard. It's really hard.
Not only that, I would find myself screaming at people because I don't like no.
You have to scream. You have to. I screamed at Dave and the landlord the other day because there was so much, and I was stuck, but I didn't explain to them what was wrong because I couldn't figure it out until last night. I thought, oh God, it was the entity. And so I've been apologizing to people, and they say, don't worry about it. But it's embarrassing to me. Hi, Blossom. The purpose comes when, for me, it was like, all right, God, what do you want me to do? I don't know. I have this degree, this interest, this passion, this idea. We're all multifaceted. Absolutely. Some people, as you know, are a little more left brain, where they're so focused on the money or the job or the game, or, just get to the finish line and that's it. They don't have flexibility. In your practice, people come to you because you're a YouTube instructor to help people get going. They go, well, I want a channel. Okay, what do you want to do? I don't know. Well, it helps to have a purpose as to why they want to build a channel.
I know. And then I spend most of my time in a consult, like walking them through. Okay, what do you want to do?
Well, what do you mean it costs money? Why do I have to pay you? Why do you charge? It's like, excuse me. So the purpose is learning. Number one, we have to make a living. Yes. We have a purpose for creativity. There's a purpose in being a parent. There's a purpose in doing shows. There's a purpose in like Rebel being the producer. There's a purpose in the rainstorm that you're experiencing right now. Everything has a purpose. But your question is, what's your life purpose? What am I supposed to do? Storm is now 31 years old. I'm 70. I've been 31. And it goes very fast. But at 31, I wasn't sure what my purpose was because things had changed at 27 with being in a plane crash that blew me out of the water. So my life changed, my perception changed, my dreams changed, my inner security changed. And one day it was like I knew I couldn't go back to the public health world. I tried. Other accidents happened. I was being blocked or didn't feel right to be around somebody in a lab at UCLA, or I could never go back to the environmental health position with the insurance company at that time. I was too freaked out, and I just knew it was like, no, don't go. You can't go back. But I had to figure it out. And then I thought, all right, I'll go back and play my music, which I did. And somebody, I think I showed you, they showed me an old flyer that I was promoting around town for my gigs and back in the 80s and 90s. But I gave up because I didn't see the money. And a friend of mine, after 38 years of pushing his music, he just got a multi-million-dollar deal. If you don't give up, it'll eventually happen because he stuck to his passion, his purpose, his desire, his dream.
I know, but it feels like hurry up and wait, work and wait, hurry up and wait.
Well, it is hurry up and wait. Not everybody's a Kardashian. If I have to eat, okay. Not everybody gets that ability to step on everybody in the industry and get to the top of the chain because of whoever she was married to or whoever she was. I don't know how she did it. They've done it for 20 years, and not everybody who gets out of college gets right to the top or creates Yahoo or creates a Google. Not everybody does.
It's true.
The average human being is like us. And then there's maybe we're even above average because the average salary in the United States right now is $44,000 a year. And that's usually a family of four.
How
I don't know. I don't know. When you think about the statistics, Storm, even though we can say we want more, we work hard, we're in a different category. But when you look at the average, that's average. So we're really above average. But then we look at all this other stuff out there and we feel like we're below average. Yep. So a lot of it's the T's and it's we're surrounded by money. I don't know where it all comes from. You look at Florida and the Keys or Miami or Boca Raton, where are these huge mansions from and all this money to run them? Or here in Los Angeles, I'm Malibu, Beverly Hills, Maseratis and Porsches and everybody's something, I think, out here. Or I look at a house on the hill. You've seen the hills between the valley and the canyon. How do people afford that? They're starting at $3 million. I don't have that you need 20% down.
And it's where are you getting this money from?
I don't know how they do it because I'm not in that wheel. I don't know how to make money. I know how to make money. I know how to keep myself afloat. I know how to sell candles. I know how to promote nutritionals. I know how to do readings. But on a corporate thing to be gigantic, to be a multimillionaire, I'm the wrong person. But if that's your purpose, getting back to purpose, if your purpose is to strive to be on top like that, then you're going to figure out another way to market what you already do to get you to the next step. If that's your purpose, it might not be your purpose to be this multi-billionaire man with all this stuff going, well, now what? Because I deal with some of the wealthy people out there. I've dealt with people who've worked for the White House, and I've dealt with people who've been homeless in San Francisco with 3 kids, and she got herself together, got her job, and changed. But there was the same question. How do I feel better?
Yep.
What am I supposed to do? Hi, gangsta. And when you take away the material world, even if they're sitting on top of a hill in a 10,000 square foot mansion, there's still depression or that hole inside. Like, now what? I need more. It's never enough. It's like an addiction. Addicted people never have enough alcohol, food, love, sex, money, porn, travel, whatever. There's always an escape until you fill up with God, spirituality, and it's like, okay, it is enough. No, it's never enough. It has to be enough. Get back to purpose. What is your purpose? If your purpose is really to be rich and famous, then you'd be out there pounding the pavement for more. The purpose, when you get quiet, will be revealed. Maybe it's cooking, baking, maybe it's writing, maybe it's doing shows, maybe it's being an accountant, maybe it's being a baker. Everybody's got, I already said baking, but I'm just throwing things out there. Not everybody has to be number one on Instagram, number one on TikTok, number one on television, even though our society makes it like that's where you have to be or else you're nobody.
You don't have to do that. No, absolutely. No.
How many celebrities are out there that have been through drug rehab, 3 divorces, lost all their money to paying off debts or alimony or child support? Yeah, they have the millions, but they still go through the emotional drain, stress, depression of losing what they worked for.
Absolutely. You know? And then it's a lot of pressure because then you have to keep it up.
Yeah, we were talking about one of the celebrities I mentioned the other day. He pays about $7,000 a month just to keep the gardens going and maybe a butler or a maid while they're doing all the landscape. That's just for that. That doesn't include electricity and gas and food and clothing and healthcare. I mean, running a family is a home is a business.
It is a business. And then you look and say, okay, I have this big house and I'm only living in 1 room or 2 rooms, or I'm never at home because I'm paying for it. So that's
what I say too. Like, you know, I've had a larger home. I'm renting this now 7 years. But the bottom line is, with 3 bedrooms, I'm on 1 chair at a time, or I'm standing in the kitchen cooking, or I'm out in the shop working, or I'm back in the studio. You're right. But there's still a thing when you're in a big home, you know it's spacious. There's a success feeling. When I was shopping for homes back in 2001, I had a realtor that told me, now this is interesting because it all ties together. He would have clients that couldn't wait to get the 15, 20,000 square foot monstrosities on 3 acres of land, like out in Hidden Hills or whatever. And 2 years later, they would come back saying, call a guy Joe, I don't remember his name. Joe, we want to downsize. The family fell apart. They would be in so many different areas and so far away, they would either have an intercom or I guess the cell phone back then, who knows, or to communicate. But they broke up because there was no unity. Like you're forced together in a smaller place. It was so big. Okay, you can call in or you can book an appointment. We're not taking calls right now, but that's great. In a moment, we'll get to your questions. That the unity was missing. The community was missing because everybody had a wing or a piece of the property, but they weren't together. I mean, I guess if you're coming from a family with, 25 relatives, they're all coming over and you got your friends and you've got the parties.
But that's different. But think of even celebrities that have huge mansions like that. They move their whole family in, or they're always throwing a party. They always have a large entourage because they get lonely.
They do. Because once it goes away, you're stuck with yourself. Even though their purpose may be to be the biggest actor or director or writer. I told you there's this big director up above Sunset Boulevard, a friend of mine's very close with. Lots of huge movies, lots of credits, huge, huge, huge talent, who sits alone drinking alcohol by himself every night. But he's got it all. But he's so lonely and so depressed. And even Joan Crawford, I always remember in the movie at the very end, it scares me. Oh God, am I going to be alone? At the very end, after she had everybody love her and did all the movies with what she did, I can't even think right now, but I just remember the closing scene of Joan Crawford where she's sitting by herself at a kitchen table. And the maid comes in to ask her if she needs any more tea. She goes, no, I'm fine. I'm not sure exactly how the scene was, but it's this huge life of competing with Betty Davis and doing all the movies in the 30s and 40s and becoming the superstar of Hollywood, but ended up alone. I mean, alone. And it's like, what's it all worth? Once it's the social of going to the restaurants, the paparazzi, the media press, where you think, oh wow, this is great. But they don't always come back for more, or you don't always have the right publicist paying enough to get you what you want. It's all smoke and mirrors.
And who are you when that all goes away? Because
Well, that's just it.
They have their time at the top, and then
you don't hear about them.
Especially in the entertainment industry, there's always somebody new, somebody bigger, smaller, prettier, whatever is.
Yeah, it's like the flavor of the month, and it's like, well, they're not as popular, but it's also the wheel.
Who are you?
Then you're back to you. What's my purpose? Oh, then they write a book, or they try to get on TV, or you find them on some cable or platform now, like, maybe they're doing Netflix movies, maybe they're doing, I don't know, but they're not in the limelight like they were because their time has come and gone. So even though they get there, or you find those who've committed suicide, you find those who are now drug addicts and alcoholics because they're not as happy, or now you hear who's really being trafficked, how you got there, how you stay there. Storm and I talk offline, and I find out things from people I know who are on the front line that can give me dirt. And some of it's pretty scary, and perhaps some of it's very ugly. So in a way, even though we are not there, we think we should. God's rejection is God's protection. And maybe we're not supposed to cross that barrier to be in that realm,
in that world,
with those people, right?
Because I tell people all the time on my show, and I've even told you too, I did my best to, like, I was trying to become a Disney kid when I was little. It was Disney, and I forgot the other network that had auditions around the country all the time. And they were
Nickelodeon. Was it Nickelodeon?
Yes, and Nickelodeon. Thank you. And oh my God, we just love you. We have to call you back. And it's something would always block it. It would never proceed. They loved me, but it would never like really happen. So I don't think it was meant, because now, I mean, look at Orlando Brown and Raven Simone, and we have all these like horror stories. So
you hear about what really goes on. Yeah, the audition's one thing, but what really goes on, I've been through it. Oh, we're gonna call you back, or we're gonna do your movie, we're gonna promote your song. Doesn't happen. You got to do it myself. And it's like, I'm tired of working for myself, that for whatever reason, I'm not supposed to be there yet, or that way, or in the way I thought. It's different than when I was growing up, and yet you're growing up, but the feeling and that passion, a lot of it, I think, is past life. We've been a celebrity or been in that limelight in a past life, so we're coming back to attain it again, but we still have the lessons to learn. And it's just like, when I told you my friend, after close to my age, so they're in their 60s, I think, but he just got his first multi-million-dollar publishing deal after 30, 40 years of getting out there, knocking on doors, doing demos, doing open mics, joining bands, but he got it. And they're moving back to LA. His wife keeps in touch with me all the time, because she even said, you were here when we first started all this. I'm like, yeah, well, congratulations. And it's been hard. But They did not give up, and you don't give up.
No.
Now, whether this is your purpose, this is more your purpose now, as being funny, insulting, humorous, doing some nasty stuff on the air to have fun. But that's the urban. You're an urban
entertainer.
Yeah, you do all the urban shit, and you get it out, and you've got thousands and thousands of followers. But at the same time, and I know Storm when he's being quiet, and I know Storm when he's with the dog, I know Storm when he's taking a walk. The people out there don't always know that part. They think they know about you,
of course. Yes.
But no, you still have to have downtime. I don't care if you're just coming off a $30 million project, you're still going to have to be alone or be quiet. You need to regenerate your energy, whether it's learning lines or dealing with the director, dealing with the producer, dealing with the makeup people, dealing with wardrobe. There's a lot that's always going on, plus your agent and your manager and your spouse and your family. It's not just get up and do your lines and show up. Oh, this is fun. I've done it. I mean, you got a 5 o'clock call. You got to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you park your car and you go to makeup, and they're doing your face and doing this, and that's only getting started, and you're not out of there until 9 or 10 o'clock at night when they wrap, and you're tired. Now you can go get a free apple and a free lunch. But no, Linda, we need you to move over here. No, turn to the right. Do this. Take off your glasses. Fix your hair. It's like, okay, smile. All for a 30-second spot.
Yeah. And then you're pissed if they actually cut your whole scene out, and you're like, okay, what was that for? What was that for?
Who knows? They spent all that money, just like when I was interviewed for House of Kardashians. You can see it on Peacock and Sky Network if you're in Europe. And they came to interview me when they were doing a whole 3-part series on the Kardashians. It spent 9 hours here, going over everything with my TV infomercial. Why did you hire Chris? Do you think she used you? Yes, I do. But have I ever been thanked for giving her a break? No, I've never been thanked. She wouldn't even follow up after I needed to get some help on the air with the candles, blah, blah, blah. And then they called last year to tell me I'd been cut. And I went ballistic sitting here on my little computer. And I just laid in like, how could you do this? I was so pertinent in that change of her life, nothing with Bruce at the time, to where she got with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. There's a little bit of my TV infomercial called Wicks of Wisdom, but they cut the whole thing. They couldn't even give me one 15-second spot. Nope. They got my nose and my pink jacket. Well, Chris goes, don't touch my hair. Because Caitlin was talking about Chris. Yeah. Caitlin was at the time talking how much of a perfectionist and control freak she is. Be careful of my hair. That's all they show. I mean, like, whatever. I'm not the director. But yes, we get cut. And you would think, oh, now I'm going to have another opportunity. Hey, my claim to fame, my purpose became psychic, spiritual, radio. Then I got into candles and to help people with candle magic and to help them with nutrition or whatever as a metaphysical healer practitioner. But I still want more acknowledgement because I know I need to reach more people, just like you want more acknowledgement to reach more people. But the powers that be don't see it that way. Your turn will still come. And I've always told you, I think it's your mid to late 30s that everything pops open and you have a whole new venture. I don't want to talk about it. That's going to be your golden goose. Once that thing is implemented, and then we can come on the show and talk about it. I can't wait because I'll probably be on a different network by then anyway, and we can really do more.
Really dive deep. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And we will. For those that don't know, I'll be leaving this particular network on July 31st, which is a Wednesday. It'll be my last show. So the next 2 months, we'll pack it in with all of the people, places, and things I've been doing for the last year, gratefully. And it's going to be time to move on. And I will know more after my trip to New York next week. But as far as your purpose, you're like me, Storm. You're multifaceted. You're not just the school teacher. You're not just the professor in a university where you want tenure. You're not the research scientist to work in a lab and discover things for 30 years. You're not the aerodynamic person that wants to be an astronaut and go to Mars or the moon or whatever. Yeah. Don't get me started that it's all a stage and all that stuff. It's not. Or a politician that wants to go out and change the world, or a anti-this to go fight for that. I mean, there's so much you could do, but you found your voice on a little tape recorder and you started something 5-6 years ago, and now you're growing. Just because it didn't happen at 20, it's happening now. I had to remind my friend Candy, who you've met, I didn't start radio till I was 40. She thought I was younger. I said, no, I was 40. Now I'm 70. 30 years. Yeah, I've won awards. I got some behind me. You can see I've won things. It's nice. It's fun at the moment you get the award and then it sits on a shelf. Now I want more. I want more. I want more.
And you move forward. Absolutely.
But not everybody has that feeling. Some people are content. Not everybody has that drive. Not everybody has that hole, that black hole. Let's go back to some of the people that are popping up. What are some of the questions? Now you can pop back up, Blossom, and whoever else is there. Let's see what you're asking, and we'll take your questions or your statements. I feel like I'm supposed to do something in healing in my heart and figure out I'm licensed. Okay. there's more to do with healing hands, because when I became a healer in 1991, I had no idea what to do. And my first patient client was certified schizophrenic with 26 personalities. I healed her. If you want,
26.
she was MPD, 26 personalities. I had no idea. She called to thank me. And then her mom flew in from Scottsdale, Arizona to thank me. And her mom worked in a psych hospital. She goes, "You got to take this to the hospital." I said, "The doctors will never understand it." And in those days, I was holding hands of the person to pull from them, which is where I got all those tumors, because I take the negative and put it back in my body, which is when I had those 100 tumors removed. As far as you becoming more of a healer, my suggestion is you call me, let me assess you, let me figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are and guide you as to where to go. Doing skincare is one thing. Storm's mother's into that, but there's more. You can get into nutritional products to add to your patients to help them. Storm and I are involved with a couple really powerful companies where, look at, his body has strengthened because the muscles have improved from the amino acids. We drink the green drink, the skin glows. We do DNA analysis. There's a lot you can do as a practitioner to build your talent and your brand. Call me off the air or email me, and I will be happy to help you put together what you've already got to get you to the next step of your purpose. You're on the right track. You just now need to integrate it, and you need someone to guide you, which is what I've kind of done with Storm. When he first came to me, he was dancing on the table. I said, "No, you want to be a broadcaster." So he doesn't dance on the table anymore. But at least you had your clothes on, right? At least I saw them.
I had my clothes on. Absolutely. But you know what though? The growth has been phenomenal. And I even had to think and remember back. Like, I remember doing radio in college and being, mentored there, and just doing a bunch of different things that led up to this. So
we all need mentors. So you dabbled in radio, even though you ended up with an MBA, which helps you create your business and your corporation, because you still have to deal with the money and equipment or services or whatnot. You're welcome, but call me up there, or just go to lindasalvin.com. No, don't do Reiki. Reiki's kind of, don't get me started with Reiki. Not on the air. Call me off the air, lindasalvin.com. It's right there. Just go and book pay for your session, and I'll get back with you. The growth is phenomenal, but because you had an interest or you dabbled, it's all come full circle because you know business, but you're a communicator. Luckily, the digital world opened up in your time.
Yes.
Where, your timing is not like my timing. I remember walking by the broadcasting communication department at San Francisco State in 75, 76, no, 74, because I hated healthcare. I was so bored, but I didn't know. And I thought, I'll change careers or majors now. It's going to take me another year. And I thought, no, I'll get out. However, it all came full circle where I can still use the health information and the broadcasting as with you. It's come back. But when you were in school, radio was still AM, FM. You didn't have internet. Not like this. Not the YouTube. No.
When I was in college, there was YouTube.
From 2009 onward?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't start college until 2011.
Oh, okay. I can't think back that far. I guess I can. But okay, so you're lucky because you came up in all of this, whereas it was newer for me. Yes, I was offered an opportunity on YouTube in 2009. I thought, oh, what's that? I can't, my mom just died. CBS just went, it was the wrong time. Now I'm late to the party, but I'm here. You're on top of it. You're going to be bigger, but there's not just YouTube for you. There's more like platforms with your friend who's a big marketing person. She'll have you back to do more teaching, but I think you're not even going to need her down the road. You're going to have your own that's big enough where you'll be able to be the speaker and they'll come for you without you needing her. I think you're going to drift. I think it's going to go this way. You're
so like speaking engagements. I think so too.
I think you're going to outgrow the need to be with her. I think you're going to start seeing a few things I've discovered that you're maybe blind to, that you're going to see your own platform grow without the need to be having a foot in her pie. You're not going to need it because you're still rising, but you needed it as a mentorship, like anything else. It got you from where you were at one point. I'm getting chills, so that's your confirmation, right? You're outgrowing a lot. You're changing, and I am too. Everybody's changing. The whole world is changing.
Absolutely.
Our job is to keep inspiring. And then our job is also to let other people know they're not alone. There are opportunities. You can find your purpose. Like the girl that wants to know, okay, she's been doing skincare, but what else? She's a healer. She's this. I have an answer. I can tell her exactly what she needs to be doing, but I won't do it on the air for free. This is my job. You pay for my information to help you. I integrate. I have the answer. I already know it. Same thing with you. You have to charge. Well, why do you have to charge? You already do YouTube. No, this is my consultation. I have a way of doing YouTube that you're not going to get out there. Well, then why do I have to pay? What do you want to do? We go back around, around, around. I don't know.
Around that circle. Yep, you're right.
I want to have a business. Great. What kind of business? I don't know. It's like, come on, people. We only have a few minutes left, but you're on purpose now. You have your purpose. The problem is you're kind of like outgrowing the coat. You're getting a little too big for what you've created, and you want a larger size to fit more. It's like, okay, I do want a bigger home. I do want a bigger car. I do need a bigger something. No, your schooling, your experience, you're dabbling over here, you're dabbling over there, whether it's the club scene, whether it's the broadcast scene, whether it's the online scene. You love to travel. You've been to so many different, Mediterranean and Caribbean areas. You're thirsty for life. You're not somebody that just sits there watching TV with a beer in his hand going, yeah, I will. No, you're a doer.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, and I'm going to pull your covers here because you're like me. Sometimes I apologize. And so do you. You kind of almost qualify. I needed some time off. I just didn't feel like doing anything today. But because I'm self-employed, and it's like we qualify because it's almost like this guilt thing. You're supposed to be working all the time. And if we don't work 5 days a week, 12 hours a day, then it's like we apologize for it. No, it all balances.
It does.
And that's something you're going to learn.
Anything, but it's like, yeah, you gave your body rest. You gave your mind rest. Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't, then you can't do anything else. It all gets done, even though we think, oh my God, it's the end of the day. It's the end of the week. We didn't get this. I didn't get that. Somehow
it gets
happens.
Done. Right?
But you're on your purpose. Like I said the other day on the phone, I think 5 years from now, you're going to see yourself in such a way that you're going to be really pleased. You're going to have it before you're 40. A lot of it. You will. I think you're going to relocate to a different city, kind of north, kind of west. I think you're going to Vegas. I think you're going to go to Vegas, even though that girl's there. She's going to give you a hard time. I'm going to do Wicks of Wisdom and put her flame out.
Okay.
You want to get hi, Carol? How you? Oh my God, Carol! It's so nice to see you. Wow, Carol's been watching me or listening to me for 30 years. Nice to see you. Why don't you give a little history or testimony on the candle magic that we do with the Wicks of Wisdom? We got about 5 minutes here. So you've had readings. A couple of things I've been very lascivious and solicitous and pretty accurate.
Oh God.
Carol, call me off there. Yeah.
A lot of things have been accurate. Come on now. Most of it has been very accurate. But yes, your readings have been on point. The candles, I mean, it depends on whatever issue you're having. But they definitely remove blocks, obstacles, help to bring in money, help to bring in opportunities, appointments. All of a sudden, the phone will start ringing, or you'll get certain emails. Or sometimes if you're waiting for something to come through, it's like the candle gives you that extra push.
Yes, it does. Or I've helped shut people up and get them off your back.
Too, or return energy a lot of times.
Yeah, because there's times he's been attacked, I get attacked, you get attacked. And I do have a formula to protect us.
Absolutely.
To get this negative off. I mean, there were some times he needed an attorney, almost a doctor. I mean, it was negative. Some people come after us a lot because of jealousy or because there's a light that they want, or, we're the next victim to attack. But sometimes it's a little too close to comfort. And when it doesn't stop, I have a solution. The Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. If you're watching this show, mention Storm's name. Whoops. Mention Storm's name and I'll give you 10% off. But yeah, they do work. My work is real. Storm's work is real. You can just go to the Storm show on YouTube. Storm Monroe, he's everywhere. Look at that little face. In Jewish, we call it a punim. It's a punim. Face, that's a Jewish name for punim. And or the Hebrew word rather, it's punim. We say such a punim. And you got the little cheeks, But You took time out of your day to do this, and I appreciate it. What
It's
else?
always fun. It's always fun.
It is fun because we know how to banter. Some people, as you've known, you bring them on the show, they don't know how to do a show. They don't know how to
Some
talk.
people freeze up. Some people get nervous, which is
The nervousness is fine until they calm down. But a lot of people don't have entertainment value. In other words, they don't know how to put it out there. On the podcast stream, everybody thinks they're a broadcaster. No, they're podcasting, which is why everybody's podcasting. Everybody's getting their opinion out there. And maybe that's their purpose.
Absolutely.
But you have found your purpose. I think what you're looking for next is your love is going to come in to fill up a different part of your heart that you're fighting at this point, which is fine. Oh, he's blushing. He's blushing. Oh, God. Let it do that. It's like if you had a hat
that's what they need to run with. Okay.
That's going to come in. But as far as your career purpose, there will be more entertainment. There'll be more broadcasting. There'll be more. Y'all, just so you know, Dr. Linda's candles really, really do work. She's the best. Thanks, Carol. You're going to continue to grow your brand.
Absolutely.
You are. And then with that new project, that's going to push you over the edge where this may become secondary online because of that. But because of that, you'll be able to do different shows over there. It's all going to come together over the next 3 years, 2.5 years. It's like you're just
that's what I'm really focused on. Absolutely. It was something about it. I couldn't get rid of it out of my head. I said, yes, I'm going to focus on it.
And you need to call John for the contracts. You got to secure the name that we came up with and just put it all together. It's all there for you. But then you still want to get your PhD and you still want to be the doctor and you still want to do more. Guess what? You got time. I got my PhD at 54. Where are you going?
Nowhere.
So your purpose changes, your purpose evolves. No, but that's just it. We think we're going to get there. And where are you going? It's just like on the road. They're speeding. Where are they going? They're going to the next exit, but let's get there. Your purpose is unfolding as you've integrated all of who you already are, from talk, radio, business, spirituality, sexuality, fun, friends, relationships, parents, family, food, nutrition. You're like a Renaissance guy. You want a taste of everything, like me being a Renaissance girl. I don't do just one thing. That's what makes it entrepreneurial.
That's what I'm going to describe myself as going forward. Thank you for that.
You're more of a Renaissance man that wants to do art, creativity, business, but you keep producing. You don't stop. So give yourself a break and give yourself a hug. I got to start closing out the show. Will you come back once or twice before July?
Anytime. Just let me know.
Okay. Are you going to be coming out to LA anytime soon?
I will be. Absolutely.
Okay. When I get back from New York. Now, I'm going to close the show. Storm's going to say goodbye, and you can find him at?
You can find me at Storm Monroe, the celebrity doctor. Just Google me, put me in Instagram, Facebook. I'm everywhere. Thank you, Linda. It's been great.
Always see you backstage. I'm going to close the show. This is Dr. Linda Selvin, my friend and co-host or helper today was Storm Monroe, talking about how to discover your purpose. We all have a purpose. Don't think you don't. We do get clouded. We do get confused. We get upset. We get impatient. Not everybody's at the top. But like I just said, a friend of mine who's been doing music almost 40 years just got a multi-million-dollar publishing deal because he didn't give up. Okay? Don't give up. But if you want more clarity, call me off the air at 888-509-1077. Go pay for a reading at lindaselvin.com. I'll contact you when I receive your payment and get you on the book for June and July. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend. And whatever time of day or evening it is that you're watching the show, let me hear from you. Talk to you soon. Take care. That's the end of Psychic Solutions today on how to discover your purpose with Storm Monroe.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.